After two each draws, the playoff round was a step too far for Dundee United. Welcome back to Fog Football, and it's time for Dundee United fans react. They crashed out in penalties, and you know what? There was just this sense of inevitability about it. They missed the first one, and then every other single penalty after that went in. And I mean, it's a cruel ending, right? But there's almost something about missing your first penalty, scoring the next four, and the other team score 5. It's like a sense of dread. It's not really cruel, isn't it? Not.
No, it's not. And you know what? It's like I feel like it's almost crueler if you miss the penalty later into the 5.
Aye. Like we did commentary while it was happening, and it just felt like they're out.
I think Austria Vienna's penalties were good, like for Rapid Vienna. No, it sucked. It absolutely sucked.
I felt as soon as he hit the post, that was it.
Yeah, I know. Yes, but I mean, at the same time, I think ideally, of course, you want 5 out of 5 scored. I think if someone says to you, though, you're going to score 4 out of 5, I think you would be inclined to believe that you're going to get probably at least sudden death.
Yeah, but you'd never take it, though.
No, you'd never take it, because I think you're hoping that you can score all 5. What is it? I think they say that over the course of like the history of football, it's like a 70% chance for the penalty kicker to score. So therefore, that would mean that if you're taking 10, you're going to miss 3. So if you're taking 5, you're going to miss 1.5. So on the law of averages, like 3.5, that should be the over/under on penalty shootouts. If you score 4, I would argue more often than not, 4 will be enough to, if not win you it, 4 should be enough to not lose you it in the initial shootout. But there is circumstances where, teams are just scoring perfect penalties. Unfortunately for Dundee United, that's what happened tonight.
The law of averages don't apply in Dundee?
No, it didn't for Rangers when they showed up there. That was Ibrox actually.
Aye, mate, really.
There you go.
Plenty of other times though at Dens Park and Tannadice we've shat the bed.
But yeah, no, it was good penalties for Vienna.
Not one of them was anywhere near not going in or being saved.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there was some good penalties for Dundee United, but they did get a let-off as well. One of them hit the bar and went in. It could have hit the bar and went anywhere. Disappointed. 2-0 up on the night. Half-time, looking good. Conceding 2 goals. Knocked out on penalties. Cruel. Very cruel. If it was it Sturton? He had a chance to win them the game, and he's one-on-one with the keeper. Should have put it past them. Very disappointing, guys, especially since they got close. But anyway.
Tell you what, though, we've had, how many games? 6 games all in now at this stage. Every single game has been close, competitive. Rangers, Hibs and Dundee United. Obviously, Hibs and Dundee United have both lost a tie, but I mean, look at it, penalties in the last minute of extra time.
It's a lot better than what we've seen in some seasons where Scottish teams are getting absolutely hammered. Even the games where Scottish teams haven't won, the scoreline's been very close.
Now, will that change in the playoff round? I mean, looking at some of the ties, it could, but
as far as I'm aware, Rangers are the only team to lose a game.
Not Hibs, right?
Ah, well. Yeah, but,
we're going to use the same logic. Rangers didn't lose then.
Oh, they won the tie. Right, fair enough.
What about the Coefficient Cup, mate? Coefficient Cup didn't win the night.
I'll give you that one, but here, Dundee United have got 2 wins and 2 draws.
They have.
Done themselves proud, anyway.
Against a good team.
Let's see what the fans think.
Hibs Central. Some effort, lads. Keep your heads held high. You done yourselves in Scotland proud. A sore one to take for sure, but a performance to be proud of. Absolutely, but when you're 2-0 up, I think it's frustrating. See, when you draw away in Vienna and then you're 2-0 up at Tannadice at half time, I'll be honest, I thought they were through. I did. I genuinely believed they were through. See, you said it, and I think it was the Hibs review. It looked like at half time, Hibs were the team going it. All the momentum was with Partizan Belgrade, and Dundee United were 2-0 up. So it's honestly insane how it ended up on the night. Let's see then. Michael Raskin Stone. Take a note of Hibs' book, lads. At least they helped the coefficient. That's it. Dante. No pitch invasion this time. We picture a Jim Goodwin there in a buggy do you make of that top he's wearing? That's quite a nice top.
Ah, it's alright, isn't it? But, it's not quite top of a winner, is it?
Nah, it's no. He's got the golf. He's got the golf clubs, pal. Stand free says, well played, you deserve more. Stephen Burns, not one United fan can criticise that performance tonight. Every player knocking their pan in. A couple of hearts in there. Yeah, I agree, right? It's like, I think there was a few things you could criticise from like a Hibs perspective tonight. But that is all you can ask for. Even Hibs does well. Hibs and Dundee United, right? In all 4 games that both clubs have played, you cannot fault their effort, and you cannot fault their craft. They've applied themselves and they've put 110% in. And to me, that is all you can ask for. If you go through, you go through. If you go out, you go out. But you cannot be overly critical of Dundee United tonight. Yeah, you know what? Have they blew a 2-0 lead? But they're against a team that's just better than them.
They're against a team that you wouldn't really expect them to have a 2-0 lead in the first place. So
yeah. No, that is it. You know, and that's all you can ask for, man, going into it.
But I do think at 2-0 up with 45 minutes to go, they should see it out.
No, I agree. I thought they were through at half-time. But Dots Adam says, with the volume of injuries, it was always going to be difficult. Despite that, it took 210 minutes of football and a penalty shootout for them to beat us. Great effort, and we go again. League Cup on Sunday. That's it. I tell you what, though, I'd like to actually see a club that's not had group stage or / league stage football in years get in. Because it's just been Hearts and Hibs, Hearts and Aberdeen bouncing back and forth for the last couple of years. So hopefully Hibs can get in, and we'll see. Because it would be good to see 2 teams in the same competition, wouldn't it? Because I think Aberdeen are going to lose to Stade Bucharest, so Hibs and Aberdeen in the same competition.
Aye,
I'd welcome it.
Welcome it.
Or on the same ladder. Grant Miller, what an atmosphere, the way the team played. Hopefully fill the shed for more games. Also, Scotland player a standout. What a performance by Sabald again. Someone's found it funny. Reece Ritchie, I think I speak for every fan that we are proud as fuck for their efforts, giving all of us lots of memories. We move on from it and we go again. A lot of people are happy Dundee United have won it. Fizzy Ann, don't you dare let your heads go down like this. Absolutely put everything down out there. The effort from every single member of the squad, we appreciate it. Big Davey, unlucky guys, superb effort. Shame an Austrian team put a Scottish team out to give them what the coefficient table is looking like for next season. Are we against Austria?
Of course, we're against all those kind of nations.
But see, that's where I think I've got a problem, right? We should be fucking nowhere near Austria. We shouldn't be.
You think she'll be behind or in front?
Fucking in front, man. No, because, right, I know you can say, like, Rapid Vienna are probably, what, second best team in Austria? I'd say so. They're third or second, right? They're taking on our 4th on paper, but realistically, Dundee United, they're better than Aberdeen, but like on paper, right, they're like the 6th biggest club in Scotland. So, but I mean, all Austria's really got in terms of a club that I think's a step above, and you can see them doing stuff in Europe, is Salzburg. But we've got 2 that you would expect to see that, Rangers and Celtic. And I think the problem is, though, the likes of Rapid Vienna, the likes of Austrian Vienna, they just do more than the rest of the non-Old Firm teams. So what we need is actually like Hearts, Hibs, Aberdeen, Dundee United, St Mirren, Killie. We need them to get into league stage football more, man. And we need them to start winning games of football. And another problem has been the fact that in recent years, Celtic haven't had it much, and it's been Rangers in the Europa League. So we'll have to wait and see, but what do you think?
What do I think about what?
I think our league's overall better than the Austrian league, and you would expect a higher coefficient, especially from the 2 Old Firm.
Well,
I feel like you've got the 2 Old Firm going up against Salzburg, but
it's not been delivering, has it?
But then you've got the rest of the teams in our league.
Well, I don't know. I would say for years and years, the 3rd, 4th, 5th place teams in those kind of leagues have been far superior to our teams.
Yeah, so that outweighs like our 2 top teams against their best team.
I think if Hearts, Hibs and Aberdeen can actually start pulling their weight, Dundee United as well whenever they qualify, if our, not also Rans, but if our, best of the rest teams can kind of actually start performing in Europe, then that will naturally take up our coefficient. But reality is now, for years and years and years, Scottish teams that qualify for Europe that aren't Rangers, or to a lesser extent Celtic, They've had so many results and they've been knocked out of ties that they really should have won. So, yeah, it sucks, but here. It's a collective effort. Everyone needs to step up.
Yeah, but could you imagine though if Rangers and Celtic just one season in Europe lost every single game? Like how bad the coefficient would be hit.
That would set us back for.
I don't know there has been like Champions League campaigns where it's felt that way, but anyway, Roberto, what a turnaround that second half. He's not happy about the second half. Yeah, I mean the second half's bad on paper, but like we said, man, it's a much better team. Cam Loon made it difficult for yourselves, only finishing fourth. What a back and forth about fourth. I'm just glad Dundee United were against Unastrasen because I think Aberdeen would have got knocked out.
Still rubs me the wrong way that Aberdeen have got the guaranteed group stage football because they are the worst team at the 5 and I don't think they deserve it. But here they got it, despite Hibs and that Dundee United finishing ahead of them in the league. Should winning the cup get you the better European position? I don't think so. I think winning the cup on its own is a good enough reward.
But also, but the way it works, so with the cup, but they don't factor it in. I don't think they do. But the way it works with the cup, though, it's like you're likely to beat one of the old firm in order at least on your way. It doesn't necessarily need to be in the final, but you're always going to beat like an old firm team on your way to it. And maybe they just value that to reward the cup rather than finishing third, where you could theoretically lose all 8 games against the old firm but still finish third.
I don't think they factor that in at all.
No, I don't think they factor it in like that. But what do you think?
I think you're struggling to get a sentence out there. No, to me, they obviously must think that winning the cup is better. And I don't even necessarily know if it's I don't know who allocates that position. I mean, it could be UEFA.
But we see with England, Palace got Europa League. And obviously they're in the Conference League, but then you see, 6th and 7th? So, what's it boil down to? Does finishing 7th in the Premier League, is that better or worse than winning the FA Cup by finishing 14th?
Yeah, but it could be UEFA that set that, and I think it is though. I don't think the actual country gets to decide who gets what European place, because then it could be flawed.
One of these years, right? A team from the Championship is going to win the Scottish Cup, and they're going to be guaranteed a European place, and it'll probably feel great, but at the same time, the team in third's going to be like, well, why is a team that's not even in this division getting that?
I think I looked at the projected places that Scotland could be getting next year, and the likelihood is we could be dropping down to 4 places. Maybe it's in the year after next, and we're only going to be getting 1 spot in the Europa League, 1 spot in the Champions League, and 2 Conference League spots. And it's actually going to be the Scottish Cup winner that gets a higher European position than the team that finishes second. And to me, that is mental.
Yeah, so it just shows you that how it affects your coefficient, and that the higher you are, man, the more importance there is on. Yeah, that is crazy though. You think it's bad where Aberdeen have won the cup and they've hoovered, the Europa League, football off of Hibs, and Dundee United, because Dundee United would have been in the Europa League second qualifying round. Imagine if an Aberdeen are hoovering Europa League football off Rangers or Celtic.
Yeah, but it's strange because right now winning the Scottish Cup in Scotland gets you essentially the third best European place. But once we drop down to 4 positions in the league, then winning the Scottish Cup will get you the second best place in Europe. So if it was still that way,
why is that? Why doesn't the Scottish Cup
right now? Champions League.
Yeah, why is that then?
I don't know. It must be UEFA, and they must. Well, it's just like in England, how top winning. How come winning the FA Cup's not better than finishing 4th? It must just be the way that UEFA allocate the positions.
But see, that's to me, you're more of a champion if you win a cup than if you finish second. But we know the Champions League has run its course. I mean, it's not a champions competition. Let's be honest. It's the richest competition. That's what it is. But anyway, I mean, we'll be here to rant on that in the future when the coefficient inevitably drops dead. But you know what? A lot of hope in the coefficient, man. Last week was phenomenal. This week we've kind of been brought back down to earth, but seeing the next 2 weeks, 2 match days, I'm expecting some good stuff. Celtic should get 2 wins, right?
I think Hibs are going to go through.
Yeah, I think Hibs will go through. Aberdeen against Stade Bucharest.
I'm not expecting anything.
I'm not expecting anything, but you tell you what, he needs results. Jimmy Thielen.
No, he does.
So hopefully he can get them. As for Rangers against Club Brugge, I'm not expecting Rangers to go through, I'll be honest, man. My confidence for a couple of weeks ago is shot. Russell Martin, I don't even want to speak about the guy, to be brutally honest, but either or, guaranteed Europa League football. And I've actually looked at the Europa League pots this year. It's looking nowhere near as good as last year. So, I think that's a key thing to remember.
I mean, possibly. I mean, it gives you a better chance, but at the same time, if the teams in it aren't as good, it almost devalues it a little bit.
No, it does, but it doesn't. There's a few things it doesn't devalue. The money you get, your coefficient points, and at the end of the day, man, see if Rangers or Celtic or Aberdeen will fire them in there. See if they won the Europa League this year, but it's a wee bit worse in quality. Are people going to remember that in 10 years? No. Going to remember the trophy that's in the cabinet, my friends. And anyway, Dundee United, they won't be winning hee-haw in Europe, but they could be winning a trophy domestically. Till next time, peace.